So recently, the big news is that Roe versus Wade has been overturned after what, like 50 years. What are your thoughts on the decision?
Um, it's not clear to me why powerful actors are so invested in overturning that decision. And I think it's a research project we've got to ask ourselves. And the surface explanation is that they're right wing evangelists, Christians, who, for them, the unborn child, they wouldn't say fetus, they'd say unborn child. The unborn child is a moral patient.
Mm.
And I think that's true for the Republican voters. I'm not convinced that it's true for people like, what's his face? Thomas. Clarence.
Oh, Clarence Thomas,
Clarence
yeah.
Thomas, okay, yeah.
I like what's his face better.
It seems so cynical, right? And then what's the argument that most people go for? It's a rhetorical question, I'm going to answer it for you. But what they'll say is, well, why are you so interested in making all these cuts to, social programs, schools and hospitals and the like, and you're forcing people to have children, right? But it's intended as a gotcha. When what it should be is a genuine inquiry of like, well, why? And I think that cruelty is the point for them. The whole point is to create a society where people are suffering. And so this, my thinking on conspiracy theories and as a conspiracy, as a research project is, well, what do the powerful people want and why do they want it?
So you said cruelty. So you think they're actively just are getting off on causing suffering?
Well, it's not that they're getting off on it. There's a lot of philosophical baggage, right? There's the story of Genesis, wherein Adam and Eve eat of the forbidden fruit. They eat of the tree, and God kicks them out of Eden and says, "You'll toil the fields all your days." And He says to Eve, "You'll suffer pain in childbirth." And I think also there's a Nietzschean undercurrent of will to life, and Nietzsche has no problem with suffering, right? He kind of embraces it, and obviously most people don't think of those two things as harmonious, but they really are. Christian apologists are always quoting Nietzsche. So
Well, it could be just more of not about suffering, but more about trying to appeal to the people's need for suffering. For example, like I think I saw recently a poll that said like 40% of Americans are against the decision of turning Roe v. Wade. That means 60% would be on board with them. So as long as they can snare above 50%, they can appeal to those people. Versus the Democrats, where they seem to be doing nothing. So even a bad idea, a bad action is better than no action at all. It's like at least we're doing something, even if it's not 100% with everyone. But at least we're doing something. We're at least pleasing some of the people some of the time. Versus the Democrats pleasing no one.
I think the question we've got to ask is, where's the profit? Who benefits from this decision? And most Western societies allow abortion. Even Boris Johnson from the UK, who was pretty crazy, came out and said, "Oh, this is a real step backwards." And Boris Johnson is really good at appearing serious and I guess informed. And he's actually not a good leader. And he's written a bunch of racist novels. Even he sees that it's not a good step. So where's the benefit? Who benefits? And you have to take into account America's unique position in the world, the military-industrial complex. And one hypothesis, that kind of inchoate theory that jumps out at me is, well, we need soldiers to maintain the status quo. And where do you get them from? Well, rich people tend not to jump into the military. It tends to be a way for disadvantaged people to, have more opportunity. Okay, we'll pay for your college when you come back. Every event, veterans are on it. So, I mean, I guess I would still have a question of, well, is that in the minds of the Supreme Court? Is it in the minds of the people who maneuvered and jostled to stack the Supreme Court, which obviously, was completely sly and underhanded? And there was, what was it, 4 or 5 of the justices lied under oath and said Roe v. Wade is settled law. But I'm not really interested in saying things that the viewer already knows. I'm interested in getting the viewer to think this through in a way that they won't find in a meme, right? Because a lot of the responses have been memes and pre-packaged thoughts and just these kind of algorithmic responses. I think we need to do better.